येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुताः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So last week we were discussing the first chapter of Gita, and I think we came to this discussion of signs of the victory of Arjuna. You all remember this? We were discussing various signs that to indicate that Arjuna would be victorious. Anyone remembers anything? Any one of the signs?
His flag had Hanuman.
Very good. So his flag had winning the war against Ravan. The same Hanumanji, and we described that it was just not a painting of Hanumanji, it was actually Hanumanji. So here also is actually a very important lesson. So whenever we have deities of great personalities or pictures of the Supreme Lord, so if we have that kind of faith, we will see that through that picture, to that deity, Krishna reciprocating, or great devotees like Hanumanji reciprocating, right? So therefore in our Vedic culture, even paintings of great personalities are something to be respected, right? So, yeah, so that's one sign of Arjuna's victory. Anything else?
His chariot was gifted to him by Agnidev.
Perfect. Chariot was given by Agnidev. Wow, good. You're attentive. Did you all go home and read?
No, we just followed what you said. Sorry, but I'm being very honest. We didn't go home and read.
Okay, that's good. But if you all go home and read, you will become much more better. Good, I'm happy for that. Anything else?
He had Lord Krishna.
Exactly, that's a very important point. He had Lord Krishna personally present on the chariot. One of Krishna's name connected to Lakshmi is what? You remember? Madhava. Wow, she's attentive. Madhava. Madhava means husband of Lakshmi. Madhava means husband of Lakshmi. And what does Lakshmi mean? Lakshmi means wealth, prosperity, victory. That's what Lakshmi is. So if the husband of Lakshmi is there, then naturally all this prosperity, victory is going to be Arjuna's side. Right? So we saw all these various signs. We also saw that the conch shell of Krishna, how is it described as? Conch shell of Krishna and Arjuna, how is it described as? Described as transcendental. Divyo Shanko Pradatmato. I didn't expect that, but it's okay. So the point is, the Kauravas conch shell, when the Kauravas also blew their conch shells, it's not called as transcendental. Even though it was a powerful voice, it was not transcendental. Right? Arjuna's and Krishna's conch shell was transcendental. We also saw last time the idea of service. Remember this? In what connection did we see this?
Food was being served by
Udupi, Lord of...
Oh, no, not that. But the main point was what? Krishna himself. What is Krishna doing here?
Oh, serving.
He's serving Arjuna. He's driving the chariot of Arjuna.
Yeah, he was.
We saw that's how Krishna is introduced, na? Text 14, right? Krishna is introduced as the chariot driver of...
Taxi driver.
Huh?
Taxi driver.
Yeah, he is introduced as a driver of Arjuna. So that means Krishna himself loves to serve his devotees. So this is where we had somewhat discussed till last time. Okay? So basically, after all the conch shells are blown on both sides, Generally, when conch shell is blown, matlab, after the conch shell, war starts. That's it. Right? There is nothing else in between. The conch shells are blown on both sides, but something happens to Arjuna. Arjuna says, Arjuna Vacha, I'm continuing from, if you all are following the Gita, this is 21-22. Arjuna Vacha, Senayor Upayor Madhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta Yavadevan Niriksheham Yodu Kaman Avastita Kermaya Saha Yodavyam Asmin Rana Samudyame. So ideally the conch shell is blown, the war should start. But suddenly there is something that is happening in the heart of Arjuna. Arjuna tells Krishna, my dear Krishna, my dear Achyuta, please take my chariot in between both the armies. I want to see who exactly has come to fight. You see, it's not that Arjuna didn't know who is there to fight. Arjuna knew very well. So this is not the rational Arjuna who is telling it. This is the emotional Arjuna who is speaking it. So here, Krishna is addressed as Achyuta. So in the Bhagavad Gita, you will find various names of Krishna. And every name of Krishna is either connected to one of his pastime, connected to one of his quality, like that, or connected to his devotee, right? So Krishna's, just like we saw Madhava. Okay, let's have like a quick discussion on different names of Krishna, right? Meaning of different names of Krishna. What does Madhava mean? We discussed. Husband of Lakshmi. What does Govinda mean? Hello, heard Krishna is called Govinda? So what does Govinda mean? So what does go mean?
Cow.
Cow.
Cow shepherd.
So Govinda means one who gives happiness to cows. Ananda. One who gives ananda to cows is Govinda. That's one meaning of Govinda. Go also refers to senses. Indriya, the senses are also called go. Like Goswami. Heard this word? Goswami. What does Goswami mean? The master of the senses. Like that. So Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the senses. Gopal. What does Gopal mean?
Baby.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
Gopal is a child. But Gopal means one who is herding the cows. A cowherd boy is called Gopal. Palaka. Palaka means one who takes care. So one who takes care of cow is called Gopal. ठीक है? Huh? Palna. Yeah. So one who takes care of cows is called Gopal. So like this various names of Krishna, right? So as we go ahead, you learn a lot of names of Krishna and the meaning of that, right? So one of the name of Krishna that Arjuna uses here is Achyuta. What does Achyuta mean? Achyuta means,
That's your name also.
yeah, my name, but my name is because that's Krishna's name. So Achyuta means one who doesn't fall down. Chuta means to fall. One who falls down, one who slips away, right? One who becomes degraded. Achyuta means one who never falls down, one whose position never goes, one who never gets degraded, like that. Infallible, exactly. That's the word. Achyuta means infallible. So how is Krishna Achyuta? There are various reasons why Krishna is called Achyuta. One reason is Krishna is infallible in his affection to his devotees. When a devotee surrenders to Krishna, Krishna will definitely protect such a devotee. Krishna tells in the Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna tells in the Gita, my devotees will never perish. So Krishna, for the pure devotees, Krishna will definitely protect them. There's a very interesting, there are many stories like this, but there's a very interesting story from the Mahabharata war only. Very interesting story. So, one time this Mahabharata war lasted for 18 days, right? And as I told you, I think for the first 10 days, Bhishma was like in the main role for the Kauravas. So one day, Duryodhan goes and taunts Bhishma. So we discussed Duryodhan, na? Duryodhan was a very uncultured kind of personality. So he would go and taunt Bhishma. Bhishma is like a very senior person. A young lad taunting Bhishma is like a unheard. But that's how Duryodhan was. Duryodhan goes and tells Bhishma, you are fighting on my side, but your heart is on the Pandava side. you're just doing half-hearted service. And he uses very abusive words and. So Bhishma takes a vow. He takes 5 arrows and he chants a mantra and he tells Duryodhana, tomorrow with these 5 arrows, I'll kill the 5 Pandavas. When Bhishma takes a vow, it will definitely happen. So Bhishma means one who takes 10 vows. So Duryodhana knew for sure that tomorrow the game is over, Pandavas are killed. So Duryodhana told Bhishma, you keep those 5 arrows with me, I'll keep them safely. Tomorrow morning I'll give it. So Duryodhana takes those arrows, puts it below his pillow and goes to sleep. Now in the Pandavas' tent, Krishna doesn't get sleep. Because Krishna has heard, even though this was like a private discussion between Duryodhana and Bhishma, Krishna knows everything. So Krishna lost his sleep. So Arjuna is seeing Krishna, Krishna has become sleepless basically, restless. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, what is the problem? So Krishna tells Arjuna, you don't know, this is the vow that Bhishma has taken. So Arjuna is like bindas. Arjuna tells Krishna, as long as you are there on my side, I don't have to worry. So Krishna is in anxiety, Arjuna is not in anxiety. So Krishna tells Arjuna, you go to Duryodhana and ask those 5 arrows. Because previously, when the Pandavas were in forest for 13 years, one time Duryodhana had come to make fun of them and some celestial demigods came and captured Duryodhana. That time Arjun went and rescued Duryodhana. So at that point Duryodhana told Arjuna, you ask what you want. Arjuna said, when the time comes, I will ask. So Krishna tells him, go and ask those 5 arrows. So Arjuna goes to the tent of Duryodhana and he's asking the 5 arrows. Duryodhana is in shock. How did Arjuna ever come to know of these 5 arrows? This was like a very secret thing. Anyway, Duryodhana gives those 5 arrows. Next day in the morning, Bhishma is asking those 5 arrows. Duryodhana says it's gone. So Bhishma understands that, please come. So Bhishma understands that it is because of Krishna, I am not able to keep my vow. So Bhishma takes a vow that time again, I will fight in such a way, either Arjuna will die or Krishna will have to break his promise. So Bhishma fights in such a powerful way. Arjuna is about to die. That is the point Krishna breaks his promise. What is Krishna's promise? He will not lift weapons. Krishna breaks his promise. Krishna says, hell with my promise. Let people think whatever they think. I have to protect Arjuna. So Krishna takes a chariot wheel and goes to fight with Bhishma. So this story shows how Krishna is infallible in his affection. Krishna is not bothered about his name. He knows in future people will criticize, but Krishna says, forget it. My priority, I have to save my devotee Arjuna. So this is the first meaning of Achyuta. Krishna is infallible in affection. Second meaning of Achyuta is Krishna is infallible in carrying out orders. Whatever his devotees tell him, Krishna definitely does it. Whatever his pure devotees tell. You all have heard the story of Narsingadev? No? One of the 10 avatars of Vishnu is Narsingh avatar. Heard of Narsingh avatar? So Narsingadev comes from the pillar. Half man, half lion. No. Narsimha avatar. The 10 half man, half lion. The 10 Dashavatar of Vishnu. So why does Narsingadev come? So Hiranyakashipu, he was a demon, but he had a son who was a devotee, Prahlad. So one time Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad, where is your God? Prahlad says, my God is everywhere. So Hiranyakashipu says, is your God in this pillar? Prahlad says, definitely is there. And Hiranyakashipu breaks that pillar, and from that pillar, Narsingadev comes. So Narsingadev comes because Prahlad had predicted that he will come. Krishna is there. In order to prove that my words of my devotees will never go in vain, Krishna comes. In Krishna Leela, whatever Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj would tell Krishna, his parents would tell Krishna, Krishna would do it. Krishna is infallible in carrying out orders of his devotees. The third understanding of Achyuta is, Krishna is infallible regardless of what act he does. Partha Sarathi, when someone becomes a driver, it is considered a low position. That's why Arjuna is actually using the word Achyuta here. He is telling Krishna, even though externally I am the boss in this chariot, you are my servant, but I know you are Achyuta. Even though you have accepted this low post, your position never falls. Right? Like in Krishna Leela, Krishna steals butter. Generally a thief, his name is spoiled, na? But Krishna, even after stealing butter, his position is still the same. Krishna is glorified. So regardless of act, Krishna is infallible. Regardless of form, Krishna's one avatar is Varaha avatar. You have heard of Varahadev? Varahadev is in what form? Anyone knows? Varaha avatar? Boar. Boar matlab pig, basically. Wild boar. A boar, a pig, generally is considered a low class animal, not like a very pure kind animal. But when the Lord comes as a boar, he is considered the most pure. The Lord takes the form of a tortoise, Kurma avatar, form of a fish, Matsya avatar. So the point is, the Lord, whatever form he takes also, he is still infallible. Understanding? And even in terms of time, like many people, when Krishna was winding up his pastime, you know the story, na? There was one hunter who shot that arrow, hit the leg of Krishna, and then Krishna chose to depart. Now, for Krishna, one arrow, will it cause him to leave? No. That is just his pastime through which he chooses to leave. So regardless of what time it is, even when Krishna is departing, still he is glorified as the Supreme Lord. So in this way, Arjuna is addressing here Krishna as Achyuta, means whatever Krishna does, even though he is taking this low post of being a chariot driver, Arjuna knows for sure that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna tells Krishna, ahead in the first chapter, Arjuna tells Krishna, please take the chariot and between both the armies. I want to see exactly who has come in this war. As I told you, this was not the rational Arjuna, this is the emotional Arjuna asking this. Because Arjuna's main concern was two people in this whole war. He had soft corner for two people. That was Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev. These were the two soft people whom he really loved, elderly people who gave him so much love and affection. See, Arjuna hardly saw his father. Pandu died at a very young age. So Arjuna didn't see his father only. Bhishma took care of him as a father, as a grandfather, as everything. And Dronacharya taught him so much. So for Arjuna, this was a very painful episode. Own grandfather, own teacher, whom he loved so much. So when Arjuna is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, please take the chariot between both the armies. Krishna exactly knew what Arjuna is wanting to say. So there is a question and there is an intention behind it. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, please take the army between both the armies, I want to study them. Krishna knew Arjuna actually wanted to see Bhishma and Drona. And Krishna takes the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona. So there is a very beautiful verse, text 24. Sanjay Uvacha, Emam Ukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapamitva Ratottamam. So here Arjuna is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, my dear Rishikesh, draw the chariot between both the armies. So here Rishikesh, we are discussing various names of Krishna. Another name of Krishna is Rishikesh. Have you all heard this name before? No? So your vocabulary is increasing, spiritual vocabulary. What does Rishikesh mean? Rishikesh means the master of the senses. Master of the senses. We all have senses. The director or the master of the senses is called Rishikesh. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, take the chariot between both the armies. But Krishna is who? Krishna is the master of Arjuna's senses and Arjuna's mind also. So Krishna knows what is there in Arjuna's mind and he takes the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona. Arjuna is addressed here as Gudakesh. Just like Krishna had many names, Arjuna also had many names. One of the names of Arjuna is Gudakesh. You know what does Gudakesh mean? Prabhupada explains here. Very interesting. Gudakesh means one who has conquered sleep. One who has conquered sleep. Why is Arjuna called Gudakesh? There are 2-3 reasons for this. First reason is because he's a pure devotee of Krishna. He's conquered ignorance. Sleep basically also refers to ignorance or darkness basically. As a pure devotee, because he's a devotee of Krishna, he's easily conquered ignorance. That's one understanding. Another literal understanding is Arjuna actually conquered sleep. When he was in his Gurukul, in the day Dronacharya would teach him. In the night, Arjuna would learn it and become an expert. Arjuna never slept in the night. And you know how Arjuna got this inspiration? One time in the Gurukul, all the children were sitting and having food in the night. That there was a lamp that was being lit. The lamp went off. Pitch dark. It was an Amavasya day, no moon also, pitch dark. And in that darkness, Bhima continued to eat. You can't see anything in front, Bhima continued to eat. So Arjuna got an inspiration. If we can eat it in the darkness, I can practice also in the darkness. That's how Arjuna became an expert archer. Very expert fighter. All the children learned the same lessons basically. But Arjuna was very focused. As a student, he was so focused on his learning, he forgot his sleep also. Therefore, Arjuna is called Gudakesh. Okay? So now what does Krishna do? Bhishma Drona Pramuktaha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Paschaitam Samavetan Kuruni iti. So Krishna takes the chariot in between, exactly in front of the chariot of Bhishma and Drona. And please behold. So Krishna wanted Arjuna to go through those emotions. Sometimes the running away from emotions is not right. Sometimes you have to go through those emotions. You have to go through it. Then only your realizations will come. One of our very senior devotees, you all have heard the word Ved. What does Ved mean? Yeah, Ved means the Vedic scriptures, but actually Ved comes from the root word Vid. Vid means Vidya, knowledge. So Ved means the sum total of all knowledge. So one devotee was explaining, many times Ved, knowledge, comes from Vedana. You know what is Vedana? Vedana means pain, suffering, churning of emotions. So when you go through these things, knowledge comes, realizations comes. Now Krishna is putting Arjuna here so that Arjuna can undergo some transformations. So Arjuna's emotions are getting churned completely. And Krishna, and imagine, Krishna is standing right there in the chariot of Arjuna. And Krishna is allowing Arjuna to go through what he is going through. Let him go through, bindas. Because that's how someone is growing in life. So Arjuna is going through all these emotions. And just seeing Bhishma and Drona. See, Arjuna knew from the beginning that he has to fight. But somehow in the back of the mind, he was hoping against hope that probably it can get evaded. Now actually the situation has come. Actually he is on a war field. He has to kill these people. So Arjuna is, he's not able to face this. He's not able to handle it. So Arjuna seeing this, Bhishma Drona, you know what Arjuna goes through? Arjuna goes through symptoms of depression. Modern day, if you read the next few verses, clinically depressed person. The verses ahead say, Drishtvedam, Drishtvedam swajanam Krishnam, Yutsu samupastitam, Siti mama gatrani, Mukam cha parishushati. Arjuna is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, my limbs are trembling. Who is telling this? Arjuna. Arjuna is a powerful Kshatriya. He's defeated Shiva, he's defeated Indra, he's defeated powerful personalities. Now Arjuna is saying, my limbs are trembling. My mouth is drying up. Anytime experienced mouth drying up? When does it happen generally? When you're too scared. When you're too anxious, when you're too nervous, your mouth dries up. Right? So Arjuna is going through these emotions. Veputascha sharirame romaharshcha jayate gandiva samsate hastvat tvakchaiva paridatyate. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, my body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my skin is burning, temperature come up without any reason. He's feeling feverish without any reason, and his Gandiva is slipping from his hand. He's not able to hold that Gandiva bow. So this is the situation that Arjuna is going through. Completely lost, completely confused. So the verses ahead, from this point on, Arjuna gives 4 reasons in this chapter why he doesn't want to fight. 4 reasons why he doesn't want to fight this war. That's how this chapter continues. Should I continue this? Yeah. So the first reason that Arjuna gives is compassion. Arjuna tells Krishna that I cannot fight because as a devotee is naturally compassionate. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, I can't kill these people just for my own enjoyment. I can't do this. So the first reason Arjuna gives Krishna is compassion. So Prabhupada explains here, you see here, the Gita has not yet begun in one sense. Till now, Arjuna is only speaking. Krishna has not started to speak in the first chapter. Krishna starts to speak in the second chapter only. But here, Arjuna through his example is showing us what is the prerequisite to understand Gita. Arjuna is the candidate to understand Gita. So if someone wants to understand Gita, what should be the prerequisite? First, Prabhupada writes here, one should have compassion and a soft heart. Such a person is qualified to actually understand the message of Gita. So having compassion is something that is so important. And Arjuna, he is compassionate on whom? Compassionate on the Kauravas. These guys, Prabhupada explains ahead, these Kauravas, they have tried to harm Arjuna in every way. Everything which is considered a crime, they have done. Still Arjuna is ready to forgive, let go. He has compassion. So Prabhupada says here that someone who has this kind of compassion is actually qualified to enter into spiritual life. So these are things that we need to develop as we come in spiritual life, right? For us, this stage may be very high, right? But at least some amount of compassion, some amount of mercy is needed. If we want God to be merciful to us, we also have to show mercy to others, right? So that's what Prabhupada explains here. This is the first reason why Arjuna doesn't want to fight. The second reason Arjuna tells Krishna, Nacha Shreyo Anupashyami Hatva Swajanam Ahave Na Kankshe Vijayam Krishna Nacha Rajam Sukhanicha. So he tells Krishna, my dear Krishna, I don't see any good coming from killing my own kinsmen, right? And I'm not even interested in kingdom, happiness, all this. So Prabhupada explains here, here again we see how Arjuna is, a very detached personality. Someone who is going to become the king of the world, but Arjuna is not interested in all that, right? So he says here, my dear Krishna, even if I win the kingdom, I become the ruler of the entire world, what is the use if all my relatives are dead and gone, right? Kim no raje, this is text 32, 35. Kim no rajena govinda, kim boger jivitena va, esha marte kankshitam no, rajan bogan sukhanicha. So he tells Krishna, my dear Govinda, what is the use of a kingdom or life itself when all those for whom I desire are all dead and gone? Imagine you are the king of the entire world, but you are the only one in the world. How will you be happy? For us to be happy also, we need people around us, na? Prabhupada explains here, generally, for us to enjoy, when we have something, when we have a good mobile or something, how will we enjoy? You show it to others. Now you don't have anyone to show it to, how you will be happy? So this is the second reason Arjuna gives why he doesn't want to fight. The second reason is enjoyment. Arjuna feels, if I kill all of them, I will not be happy. So this is how a typical mindset thinks. Whenever we make a decision, how do we decide? What is the factor in which we decide whether that decision will make me happy or not?
Satisfaction.
Whether it will give me satisfaction or not. Generally, that's the way we decide. But actually, Prabhupada explains here how we should decide, We should be able to decide based on whether the decision will make Krishna happy or not. And that's the whole mindset. You understanding? So Arjuna calls Krishna here Govinda. You know why? Arjuna is thinking, Krishna, you are Govinda. It is your responsibility to satisfy me. Generally, people go to God for what? Why do people go to God for?
Blessing.
So people go to God to tell God, your responsibility to satisfy my desire. Typical calculation, the material mindset. That's what Arjuna was thinking. But after hearing the Gita, Arjuna understands that Krishna is Govinda because it is our responsibility to satisfy his desire. So Gita is all about change of mindsets, change of intention. Why we are doing what we are doing. So Gita starts with Arjuna wanting Krishna to be his servant. Indirectly, Arjuna is telling Krishna, you are God, you have to serve me. But after hearing the Gita, Arjuna tells Krishna, Karishye vachanam tava. I will serve you. Not that you carry out my will, I will carry out your will. That's the mindset. Right? That's the mindset of a devotee. Right? What can I do for you? Not that what can God do for me, but what can I do for you?
By doing that, that means, you're in the right mindset. Whatever I'm doing is going to be right because I have to please God. Then you can't make wrong decisions.
Yeah. And also you have to, that's why reading scriptures, we'll come to know what pleases God. You see, in one understanding or in one angle, all the reasons Arjuna gave was logical, was correct. But according to Krishna, according to this particular time, place, situation, his understanding was wrong. That means what we think is correct may not be correct. Therefore, we have to refer to our scriptures. Our own understanding of situations, problems of people may not be correct. The first chapter of Gita, what is the title of the first chapter of Gita? You all see the title? Arjuna Vishad Yoga. How is it translated in English? Just see the chapter title. What is the first chapter of Gita? How is it translated in English? Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That's the first chapter. That's what Arjuna is doing. He's observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. After observing the armies, we will see Arjuna's conclusion. He comes to a state of confusion. That means what? When you analyze your problems only through your limited understanding, you will end up in confusion. Therefore, we need higher guidance to make us from the actual right perspective. So, who is such an intelligent person, such a powerful personality, he could figure out his own problems. He landed in a checkmate. But when he surrenders to Krishna and he takes guidance from Krishna, then actually the whole things make sense. Getting this point here? So Arjuna is calling Krishna Govinda and he's telling Krishna, if all my relatives die here, whom will I enjoy with? So Arjuna is thinking about his own enjoyment, therefore he doesn't want to fight. This is the second reason Arjuna gives. The third reason Arjuna gives is, he tells Krishna, if I kill so many people, sin will overcome me. I will get implicated in sin and then I will have to suffer in hellish conditions for a very long time. How many people think in this way? Right? People just keep doing what they want, just do it. People don't think about what's going to happen in future. But Arjuna is a very sensitive person. He's thinking about sin that will come in the future. So this is the third reason. Papam eva shreya dasman Hatvaitan atatayinah tasmanara vayam hantum datarashtrans bandhavan. So janam hi katam hatva sukhina shama madhava. Arjuna tells Krishna, my dear Krishna, sin will overcome us if we kill such aggressors. This text 36. Sin will overcome us if we kill such aggressors. What will we gain by killing all these people? Let us just forgive them. So Arjuna uses the word atatai. Have you ever heard this word atatai? Not heard this word? Atatai basically means a terrorist. Atankvad, atatai. These are terrorists. Kauravas were basically terrorists or aggressors. So Prabhupada explains here, if you read the purport, you all can go back and go to the purports. So Prabhupada explains, according to Vedic scriptures, there are 6 kinds of aggressors, 6 kinds of terrorists or criminals, 6 kinds. First is one who gives poison. One who gives poison and tries to kill you. Second is one who sets your house on fire. Third is one who attacks with deadly weapons. General understanding of a terrorist. The fourth is one who steals your wealth. Fifth is one who occupies your land. One who takes over your land. And sixth is one who kidnaps your wife or abuses your wife. 6 kinds of aggressors. In Vedic scriptures, according to Manusmriti, anyone caught with any one of this thing should be given capital punishment so that others get a very strong message. Right? Here, the Kauravas, whom Arjuna is fighting with, they have done all the 6 to the Pandavas. If you read the Mahabharata, all 6 full marks. They tried to give poison to Bhima and others when they were small children. They sent them to a house. Dhritarashtra made a house of lac, a material that gets easily inflammable material, burnt very fast. He sent them there. Please go and enjoy a picnic. Right? And then they were burnt, tried to be burnt alive there. Second also was done. They were attacked with deadly weapons many times. Fourth, money was stolen away. We know that dice game and all that Dyut Krida gambling that happened, all their money was stolen away. They took away their land. The entire kingdom belonged to the Pandavas. These guys took it away. Not only that, they tried to insult Draupadi and kidnap Draupadi so many times. Not one, all 6 done to them. But Arjuna is such a great personality. Even with all this, he's saying, let's forgive. Right? Such a big heart Arjuna has. So Arjuna is saying, telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, if I kill them, I will suffer in hell. Even though he will not suffer. But this is his mood. After the war of Kurukshetra, was fought for because Duryodhan was adamant. We saw the story last time, na? But after the entire war, Yudhishthir Maharaj is feeling so bad. Yudhishthir Maharaj is feeling, it's because of me this entire war happened. It's because of me so many people got killed. He's feeling so bad about it. So a symptom of a great soul is, even though it is not his mistake, he feels that it is his mistake. Understanding? A symptom of a person who is not a great soul is, even though it is his mistake, he will point others. He will say that it's that guy's mistake. But taking responsibility, taking onus of the situation is something that shows actually how cultured and how mature someone is. So there are a lot of things to learn from this personality of Arjuna. It was not that he was just powerful. He was powerful with a lot of culture, a lot of value systems. And therefore Krishna wanted Arjuna and the Pandavas to rule. We all worship Hanumanji. It's not that Hanumanji was just powerful, that's why people worship Hanumanji. Hanumanji was powerful, but he had such great character. He had humility, he had integrity, he had devotion, he had honesty. Right? It was very simple. So these characters are what actually makes someone really great. Someone who's powerful, at the same time very grounded, very humble, very modest. Such a person is actually a great leader. So these qualities, these reasons that Arjuna gives is actually a reflection of what kind of training and upbringing he has had in his own family. So we'll stop at this point, and I think that there's 2 reasons we can.
You had said 4
4 reasons. So I did how many?
3.
3.
But I also have a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a quality that a sign of a good quality is that when you are not guilty, you feel guilty about doing something. In today's context, that's what, like as a woman, I've been trying to fight that like if my husband doesn't eat, I feel it's my fault, but it's not my fault. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I would think that, oh, maybe I made bad food and so he's not eating, or maybe he wasn't. All our life we've been brought up to be made feel guilty as a woman.
It's not about feeling guilty. See, there's a difference. There's a difference between both. One is about being humble, and so guilt, if it's there's a positive and a negative aspect of it both. So if it's helping you look into yourself, introspect, and work on yourself, that's great. But if it's taking you on a downward spiral, that means it's a negative one.
Displaced guilt. I mean, we tried. I mean, at least in management and at work and in personal life, when you, as a woman, when you feel traumatized because there's so much going on, it's a lot of reasons that come up is that you feel guilty for things you were not even guilty for. I mean, you should feel bad because it wasn't your fault. I mean, I'm just saying, how is it a good sign to feel guilty when it's not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what is the outcome of it. Whether the guilt is taking you higher or bringing you down depends on what happens after that. So if you're feeling a little guilty and you feel that now I have to improve on myself, let me work on myself, then it's wonderful. That's Krishna's system in us. So you do anything wrong, you actually the thing that comes, you feel bad about it. Motivating you to stop doing that further, that's wonderful. But many times when you get into this negative spirals of guilt, then you start doing that thing more and you go down. So that means that guilt is becoming detrimental for you.
Talk about big-heartedness, like where you overcome the negatives, you continue doing the positive.
Exactly.
So you said 3 things, which was passion, compassion,
Compassion,
enjoyment,
and the third was fear of sinful reactions.
fourth,
Fourth, I didn't do. You want me to do? Or I'll keep it for next time.
Then let's
No,
complete.
finish.
complete 4.
Okay, take it.
Then we are,
You're all eager for it.
there were 6.
So I was testing you all. Whether you're eager or not. So the fourth reason, Arjuna tells Krishna, Kulakshaye pranashyanti, text 39. Kulakshaye pranashyanti, kuladharma sanatana, dharme nashte kulam krishnam, adharmo bibati utah. Arjuna tells Krishna, with the destruction of the dynasty, the entire family tradition is vanquished and rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So basically the fourth reason Arjuna gives is destruction of family tradition. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, if I fight this war, so many of the men will get killed. Because generally in a war, all men only are there. All the women are back at home. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, if so many men die in this war, especially the elderly ones and all the people, all the women will remain unprotected. And they'll get exploited and the whole family tradition will stop. So 2 things Arjuna is hinting at here. First is protecting elderly people. Because so many elderly people in this war, if so many elderly people are lost, how will the culture get passed? Right? So Prabhupada explains here that how it is important to have elders in the family, which is modern society doesn't understand it so much, because elders have experience, their experience should be honored and respected. So if a society that doesn't respect elders is a society that will never grow, right? So this is a very important point of culture, respecting elders. It shows how evolved a society is. And second test of an advanced society is whether women are protected, treated well, respected. This is a test, right? So Prabhupada explains here, generally, I think, I don't know whether I mentioned this point before, if you have to test, like, you have litmus test to test whether a chemical is acidic, basic, or like if you want to test whether rice is cooked, how will you test it?
Press it.
Press 1 grain, no?
1 grain.
Take 1 grain, press it, you'll understand the whole rice is cooked or not. Simple, na? So if you want to test whether the society is advanced or not, any culture, any society, any nation, the way you will test is simple. 5 people. If these 5 people are happy, protected, satisfied, society is going great. If these 5 people are not protected, happy, if these 5 people are exploited, society is in a mess. Who are the 5 people according to Vedic scriptures? First is cows. Protecting cows, not only protecting, keeping them happy is important. Second is Brahmanas. Brahmanas means the wise people, saintly people. A society that respects saintly people, wise people, is a society that is an evolved society. I can speak n number of Krishna Leela, how Krishna is the Supreme Lord, even Krishna would respect Brahmanas. When Sudama, you all know the story? Krishna's friend, Krishna had a friend called Sudama, Brahmana, very poor guy. When Sudama comes to Krishna in Dwarka, Krishna would personally offer him a seat. Krishna sat at his feet and washed the feet of Sudama. So Krishna personally did this to Brahmanas. Krishna loved the cows. You all know this, na? When Krishna was in Vrindavan, what was Krishna doing there? Krishna was herding the cows. Coward.
It was Kanhaiya also.
Kanhaiya, Gopal, Govinda. Krishna stayed in Vrindavan for almost 11.5 years. For 11.5 years in Vrindavan, Krishna never wore slippers. You all know this? Krishna never wore slippers. You know why? Because Krishna was thinking, the cows don't wear slippers, I can't be in a higher position than cows. Krishna never wore slippers for 11.5 years. Right? So Krishna took care of cows personally. Krishna would know the name of each cow. When Krishna would call the name of the cows would come running. Right? So Krishna had great love for cows. So a society that respects, protects cows, protects Brahmanas, protect elders. Elders are respected, treated well, protected. The fourth is cows, Brahmanas, elders. The fourth is women. Protecting women, respecting women is something that's very crucial in a society. A society that doesn't respect women, that abuses women, is a society that's going to get destroyed. One of the reasons Krishna wanted the Duryodhana and party to go out is because these guys didn't know how to respect women. That's one single reason Krishna wanted them to go out. And the fifth is children. Taking care of children, protecting them, giving them the right value system is something important. So a society that takes care of 5 people is a first class society. A society where any one of them is neglected, abused, is a society that's going down the drain. Right? Our Vedic culture, governance in Vedic culture was based on this model. Our results time, na? The actual governance was based on these principles. 5 kind of people will be protected and kept happy. That's all the duty of a king was. So Arjuna is so concerned because he's a king, he's a Kshatriya. He's concerned that if all the elders die here, how will the culture go to the new generations? If all the men die here, who will take care of the women? So if the culture doesn't go, who will do the Pindadan Sanskar? Who will offer offerings to forefathers like this? So therefore Krishna, if I do this, all family traditions will get destroyed and I will go to hell. So this is the fourth reason Arjuna gives why he doesn't want to fight. And then in conclusion he tells Krishna, Sanjay Uvacha, the last verse, Emam Uktva Arjuna Sanke Ratopasta Upavishat Vitsrija Sasaram Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa. So Arjuna, after speaking this, he becomes, even though he gives all these reasons, Arjuna is still a little confused. So Arjuna is so confused and so bewildered, Arjuna just puts his bow aside and sits down on the chariot, completely grief-stricken. Can you imagine this to Arjuna? Arjuna was like a powerful Kshatriya who never cries. Arjuna is crying like a baby here. And he's put down the Gandiva bow. What does putting down the Gandiva bow means? He's given up. He's given up and he sat down. On a time when you're supposed to stand up, he sat down, he's given up. And he tells Krishna, my dear Krishna, no more. I can't handle this. This is beyond me. And then In the second chapter, he surrenders to Krishna, and then Krishna speaks his wisdom and inspires Arjuna to carry out his duty. So that's how the first chapter is.
There is a lot to learn in each aspect.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot
How
to
long
learn.
did we speak for? Like,
Krishna and Arjuna?
yeah, how like the Bhagavad Gita, we learn it for years and years and years.
Yeah,
And
they say that the discussion happened in 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah, it can take us 45 lifetimes to understand it. Not 45 years. That's how deep Bhagavad Gita is. Actually, I just did like a quick overview, but in each of the verses we can go a lot in detail.
But if you go into detail, the entire story will get confused. The way you're doing it is very difficult, the whole concept is understood.
Yeah.
Brief, short and sweet.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can register.
Yeah. The next chapter is, second chapter is a very important chapter actually. A lot of very important principles keep coming up.
I think we should bring a little booklet, to write all this
Yeah,
stuff
you all,
down.
yeah, you all
I
should.
will not remember them.
Yeah, or at least in your mobile, just type
So
it
we
out.
have the recording, we listen to the recording.
But when you,
Of course,
Yeah,
sometimes what you relate to, you need to put it down.
yeah. Or even in mobile, you can type it
don't
out.
switch off. We want to record it. Now we've got the next session.